4 minutes past the top of the hour. Thank you so much for these lovely cups. Amazing. Of course, it's wonderful. What a coincidence, a perfect coincidence indeed. Thank you so much, Anna. It's a pleasure indeed. The glasses are set and the stage is set and the view to watch the morning drift right here and Look Up Television is done. 5 minutes past the top of the hour. This is the morning drift at Look Up Television. My name is Moses Sketch. Even as we embrace the Health Drift Tuesday, we are here courtesy of the Gully Camp, and they are our guests this morning to really understand the view on Sexual Assault Awareness Month as well as the gender-based violence. To not spoil the taste, allow me to let them introduce themselves kindly. I'm
Sumayyah Ruguru, and I'm a law student at the University of Nairobi, and I'm the founder and CEO of Sumayyah Foundation.
Amazing. Nice to have you. Good morning.
It's good to be here. Thank you for having us.
Indeed. Thank you so much. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. My name is Raphael Mwatu. I am a graduate at JKUAT University, just finished doing a civil engineering degree.
Indeed.
I'm managing director at Sumayyah Foundation.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Nice to meet all of you. Good morning, sir.
Nice to meet you too.
All right, it's a pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
This is a kazi. Now, they say that we are a community-based organization started in 2021 with an aim of providing legal aid services, provision of sexual reproductive health, that is SRHR, services, economic empowerment towards vulnerable boys, now adolescent girls and young women in Kenya. Now, their mission is to facilitate a community-based collaborative response to all survivors of gender-based violence, GBV, and sexual gender-based violence by providing medical advocacy and legal aid services in an ethical and compassionate manner. Even as we start the conversation, you've witnessed a sexual assault happening right in the country. Last year, when we had the manners of the finance bill, there are so many cases that came upon. But in order to understand the clear context on sexual assault and gender-based violence, we are creating the differences in the line of making sure that the society is well informed about these positions. How will we get them informed? Remember, the conversation is also across all social media platforms, live on Facebook and YouTube. Use the hashtag #TheMorningDrift. You've witnessed a young child being assaulted right in the society, and therefore wazazi wake hawana uwezo wa kuweza kumsaidia. So how will they handle that particular situation? There are adolescents that feel wanajua mambo kuhusiana na kijiji, and they want to explore. And also there are people living in particular families that have been assaulted in one way or the other. How will they handle those particular situations? Ladies and gentlemen, courtesy of the Health Tuesday, allow us now to ask this. In order to understand the sexual assault awareness, what are the things to take into consideration when you say that this one was assaulted, and maybe might be a child, might be an adolescent, an adult? How do we bring up the difference on this particular sexual assault?
So sexual assault is defined as any sexual acts without consent.
Indeed.
So the consent part doesn't have to be there. In order for assault to happen, one must not consent.
Indeed.
It's like a force done against someone.
So if we agree, it's another thing.
Yeah, if we agree, it's not sexual assault, unless it's a minor. Okay, there are categories of people who are unable to consent. One, they're minors,
Indeed.
elderly people, and people who are intoxicated.
Indeed. But why assault a child even if you're speaking about the consent thing?
Yeah, so it's hard to actually know what goes on through a perpetrator's mind, but it's something that happens, and it happens so much because the statistics are there. It happens very oftenly.
Indeed.
Yes.
All right, maybe that's the view of the female in the set. What will be your view on sexual assault?
I think just to echo what she said, consent is really important. Without consent, it's considered sexual assault. So consent is saying yes, agreeing to it, and there are two types of consent. So there's either the express consent. For example, I love what our team member does. She calls Yvonne. She does the express consent is, are you a man? So you can either say yes, that's expressed. You say it verbally,
Indeed.
or you can nod, giving expressions. Just say. So that's express consent and implied.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Implied is the one where you do the actions. When you say yes, that isn't considered consent. Consent should be expressed.
Yeah.
Say yes.
Sexual consent should always be expressed.
Right. Help us understand this now. That when this thing was happening, whether the implied or the expressed. When you said yes, we were not there, we were not present to witness that you consented to it. So what are the barriers in it to really understand that asimlielewana? So you are ready to do that?
Pardon?
You've mentioned something unexpressed and implied. And there's a view on saying yes. If you said yes, you consented to it.
Yes.
Right? So we were not there when you guys were participating. So later on you come cry that you were assaulted, but kwa hiyo kikao chenu, you had consented, you had agreed. So how do we know the barriers in it?
Well, there's no exact way to know exactly what happens between two people. That's why it's advised to listen to what happened from both sides, because sometimes, not even most, just a very small percentage of women might say that they were assaulted when they weren't, but the statistics says that the most women are assaulted.
Most women.
Yeah.
All right. Yes.
If you remember what you said, that the people who cannot consent. So let's say someone is intoxicated.
Indeed.
I know most guys love to take a girl out,
Indeed.
get her drunk, and then, so if you've taken her out, she's drunk, and then she's consented and said yes, in the court of law, when you go and she said you were drunk and she said yes, that's court considered consent, and it's sexual assault. So the matters around consent is what really matters, because let's say if you've said yes, the people who accuse other people falsely, it's just a small number, it's a small percentage.
Right.
Yeah.
Raph, I appreciate that, because we have two genders in the set, and Sim had mentioned earlier on that women are in the space of assault so much that we're witnessing in the country. Do you think so? That means men are the biggest perpetrators?
Statistically speaking, yes, men are the biggest perpetrators, but that doesn't mean that ground peer. But doesn't mean that men aren't assaulted themselves. So there are so many cases of men being assaulted, but they don't speak out. Men have this fear, or I don't know what to call it, but they don't really speak out on their traumatic experiences. And once you dig into it, some of these traumatic experiences are what leads to people later on in life being perpetrators themselves, because they've not learned how to deal with the situation, and they're angry, they're frustrated with the traumatic experiences that they had, and they end up putting it into someone else, like now being the perpetrators of sexual assault. So yes, men are mostly the perpetrators, but also men are assaulted by other men, by also women.
So statistically speaking, also men are assaulted?
Yes.
But they don't speak?
But they don't speak out.
All right.
Yeah.
So at what age are we speaking about non-consent? The kids from below 18 years, they had agreed.
The age of consent is 18.
18 and above. So when you're below 18, you can't agree to it.
Even if you say yes, it's not considered as consent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a question, we had a debate earlier on that so ukiangalia the kids are too big. Wanaona ni kama wamejua sana. And they're saying that mimi ndo nilikuwa nataka.
Yeah.
So how will we handle that particular situation?
Yeah, there's also a familiar case we were also handled with a while ago, where it was two minors.
Indeed.
The girl had escaped from home and went to live with the other minor at their place. So when the parents went to the police because the girl was missing, but when the police found the girl, she said that I have consented to being with him, but both of them were charged because the age of consent is above 18. So anyone below 18 is not in a position to consent to any sexual activity.
Right.
Yes.
So lakini mkiwa the same minors, simba?
No, even if you're the same minors, both of you are not able to consent. Both of you are not allowed to consent.
So ni kujibamba?
Well,
Legally.
yeah, legally it's not. Yeah.
Or illegally?
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing is illegal.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
A certain man is involved with the minor, then asked why he was involved, he said that si alikubali.
Yeah, but you know, a minor cannot consent. Yeah, so it's still illegal.
On the other way around, so men also are in the same space. When we speak about the girls now, maybe the girl is not is the adult, and the boy is the minor. So how will we tackle that as well?
Same.
The woman is the perpetrator.
The woman is not the perpetrator.
Yeah.
Taking advantage of the young man.
Of the
But most of the time, it's not the men that the women that go to 30
but
years.
But it still happens. Yeah, it still happens.
All right.
Yeah.
Indeed. So allow us now to understand now Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Even as we speak about this, what are the major things to consider as we even deliberate on Sexual Awareness Month?
So the first thing, and I feel like the most important thing for me, it's awareness.
Indeed.
So once you have the correct knowledge on sexual assault, the exact meaning, the meaning of consent, and the various types, and also how to help yourself once you've been assaulted, and the right channels to follow, then I feel like that would be the best route to follow during this month.
Right. What was the motivation towards this?
In 2020, there was a global movement called the Me Too on Twitter. So, the Me Too movement on Twitter, it's a social movement that creates awareness by encouraging women to speak publicly about their sexual assault experiences. Well, I remember that day very clearly as I was scrolling through my Twitter and I was reading stories of women and girls sharing the experiences of sexual assault. Girls who could have been me, girls who actually were me. And from that day, something in me shifted. And I felt the need to do something about it. So I educated myself. I took SRHR courses. And in 2021, I founded Sumayyah Foundation.
Indeed. Yes. You introduced draft to the same foundation.
Yes.
All right. And they say is the managing director.
Yes.
What was your motivation, sir?
Mostly I saw what they were doing. So I reached out to them and I said, what are you guys doing? Because the first event, I think they went to a children's home and they are basically educating the young children about matters of sexual assault. And when I asked them, what are you guys doing? I really loved the cause. Because myself, I was really ignorant towards the fact. Because even as I was telling you before, like men are told, okay, not told, but you are used to, if you want to impress a girl, you take her out to drink. And so there are things that we grow up knowing that are completely wrong.
Indeed.
So I was really intrigued by the idea, and I wanted to make an impact and to also help change, be part of the change towards the society.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And of course, we're speaking now about change. So we are bringing the element of awareness to the society. What really runs through the mind of these perpetrators on sexual assault?
Well, to actually explain what goes on through a perpetrator's mind is something that I wouldn't know. Most people wouldn't know. But we know of the actions that happen after their thoughts run through, which is now the assault.
The assault bringing the crisis in all this.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So you can't know. So how will you judge that a new assault?
By the actions, by the assault.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the reason as to why I'm asking is for that person that has been assaulted and that person that had the intention to assault but maybe ilikatika. So what are the things, the elements that we consider when now we say this one is assault? It might not be a minor, it might be an adult. Earlier on you had a story that walikuwa naishi vizuri pale Kangemi, then the husband murdered the wife. That also part of assault?
Yes. That is.
So I think you can, before we go into that, you can discuss the types of sexual assault, because I feel like there are very many, and then we can just generalize them and someone won't know that this is affecting them and this isn't affecting them.
So what kind of assault are we speaking about, of course, as far as the month is concerned?
All of it, but there are very many different forms. So there's rape.
So let's give you a chance now. You give us some few tips on the same, and then Sumayyah gives the same as well. Right?
Yeah.
All right.
So the various types, there's rape. So rape is just the penetration through the anus or through the vagina by any object or through any sexual organ. So that's rape. You can discuss the next one.
I can also add on a few types of rape. So there's also marital rape, which happens in marriages. So where a husband forces the wife to have sex.
Indeed.
And this one brings a lot of conversation around it, because people say that marital rape isn't possible because once the wife signs the marriage certificate, they're bound by consent. But even in marriages, the husband should be able to confirm with the wife and not force her into any sexual activities.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. And vice versa.
Any other do we have?
So we also have femicide, which has been ongoing in Kenya because there have been so many cases recently. So this is just when a man kills a woman. Yeah.
There's also fondling, unwanted fondling. So that's basically you see a girl or you see a man and you're touching them unwanted without the consent of the person that you're touching.
And
yeah.
Usiniguze.
Yeah. You have to get the consent before touching someone, before doing anything physical with someone. Yeah.
Salamu tu alafu to sorry your story. So there's a varieties of the kind of sorry. Let's shift now gears a little bit. Because we've tried to shape down what kind of assault are we speaking about. But now, in the aspect of gender-based violence, what is our main concern?
In the aspect of most gender-based violence are basically gender-based violence. And what we as Sumayyah Foundation, we are trying to combat is letting the two genders know that, first of all, you have to give out consent. In order for any sexual activity to take place, consent has to be there.
Indeed.
So consent is really important when it comes to matters of sexual assault. Yeah.
All right. The aspect of GBV, it's not about physical attachment or ile story ya kumpiga kwanza. When you guys are creating the awareness right in the country, so there are things that you consider as the foundation and even to empower the society as far as GBV is concerned.
So in GBV there's also the domestic violence aspect. So what we do basically is to raise awareness towards all these things so that people know there's domestic violence, there's sexual gender-based violence, and there's gender-based violence.
Indeed.
So there are people who are affected by it. Let's say mom and dad have domestic violence. The kids there don't know how to deal with that situation. So with us, we come in being that bridge towards them and professional therapists, and bring a bridge towards the man or the woman who's the victim of gender-based violence and towards their legal help.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Is it something to be keen on as we speak about gender-based violence in the country?
Yes, it is.
Why is it so important?
Because the statistics prove that it happens in almost 1 in 10 families in Nairobi and also across Kenya.
Then?
So it's something that happens on a very often level, and it is up to us and to every one of us, because it takes individual efforts and also at a community level to really address this issue and make sure the matter is eradicated.
When we have sexual assault cases and gender-based violence cases in the country, what should be the drive from such foundations and the society as well to maybe impact the society in a more clear manner?
Mostly, number one, we just have to create a safe atmosphere where people can have such conversations. Not just on TV, but you can have it with your shopkeeper, your mama mboga. You have this conversation so that it's normal to be aware about what's going on and not just ignoring it and saying, just letting someone be part of a statistic. So you have to create that you have to create that culture where everyone is communicating, where everyone is open to sharing the matters that are actually affecting us.
Indeed.
And also education, because education is really important when it comes to matters of sexual assault, because it also creates awareness.
Indeed.
Once people are really educated, and that's why I really stress on the matter of education, and a huge part of Sumayyah Foundation is education, because once someone knows that this is wrong, once someone knows a name for it, and once someone knows that it is being it's a violation, then that person is able to act accordingly.
Indeed.
Yes.
Speaking about awareness in the society, you've visited a couple of places, that is the local places in Mathare, Jericho, and many others, I suppose, in Ziwani. What is your biggest encounter as far as the awareness is concerned towards driving change and impact in these societies?
So the first edition of Gali Camp, we had it in Jericho, and we were able to gather around 50 girls from that area, where we educated them on sexual reproductive health rights, legal aid, mental health, and and body positivity. Our second edition, we had it in Ziwani, and we had a larger audience, where we were able to reach 100 girls from that area. And this year we're looking forward to reach more people, but the Ziwani one was our most outreached program.
Raf, what's the biggest challenge you encountered as well as impacting these particular areas that you've visited?
Mostly financially, because setting up these events is quite costly. There's also the areas that are not really educated. There's some cultural stigma that comes to it. So there's a place we went to in Nyeri, a school, and they were really hostile towards the matters of sexual assault. There's cultural beliefs where if you're sexually assaulted, you have to marry the perpetrator, and so it creates a culture where sexual assault is accepted. So these are some of the challenges. Like, there's a cultural aspect to it where some people are not really educated towards the matter of sexual assault, and they have like really bad cultural practices that are causing a hindrance towards our work dealing with such people, and also financially, and yeah.
Indeed. There's a question you ask here, why Mathare? You visited Mathare, and you mentioned about significant challenges and immense resilience.
Mathare is the one we're visiting this time.
Indeed.
Yes.
So why Mathare then?
Well, Mathare is the largest informal settlement in Nairobi, and the cases that come out of Mathare are at a very high alarming rate due to different various reasons and vulnerabilities among the adolescent girls and young women. So that's why we are targeting Mathare, so we can try our best to help them.
How will you tackle that?
So we are planning to bring in legal aid, where we'll bring in legal experts who are going to guide them on the legal channels they can take, and also mental health experts who will be able to guide them on healing, and also us as Sumayyah Foundation will also educate them on sexual assault and the various types, and also about consent.
Indeed.
Yes.
For the legal, when we come back to the next session, of course, we'll discuss now how the approach to take and who to approach when I want a legal right as well. And most of the local participants or those that have encountered this particular situation do not know the best approach to have. So you guys will assist us to understand that in a clear way possible.
Yes.
And also when we come back, we'll also have a view on the objectives now that Gali Camp has and impacting lives upon the awareness of the Sexual Assault Awareness Month as well. There's a question here that this mom has a child that was assaulted by the husband. So it's a family thing. So how do we expect that mom to tackle that particular situation? Will we say that bwana yangu anakuanga hivyo tu?
No, it's actually important that the mom seeks help, either through an organization like us or to the police station, because first of all, the husband has assaulted the child who is also a minor, and that husband should face repercussions for his actions. Yes.
Indeed. But sasa si pia wanasema kwamba watoto ambao wameanza kuwa wakubwa wanavaa vibaya.
No.
Wanavaa vibaya, alafu sasa mzee
dress should never be an issue when it comes to matters of sexual assault.
The children?
Because even Muslims are assaulted when wearing full hijab, and even children, a child cannot like sexualize in any way when he or she is wearing anything, and they are still assaulted. Like we saw of a case of a 6-month-old baby who was assaulted by the father. Now you can't say my dress there.
but hey, it's
a big shift. Let's say you see someone wearing something tight or something short. There's two ways you can go about it. You can just say
it looks nice, yeah.
But for you to go the extra step and saying I'm a viable, so she wants me to rape her, or she wants me to spank her, or she wants me to do this and that, that's where it comes wrong. Because
you can just admire from afar and leave it at that.
Yeah. I'm going to approach her. Can I take you out?
Yeah. All right.
Doesn't have to jump to sexual assault.
Do you think the society knows this?
That's what you're trying to build.
All right.
You're trying to educate them towards that.
Indeed. Dress fupi haifuatwi.
Yes. Yes, actually.
But don't sexually assault them.
All right. Yeah. So, rise, reclaim, rebuild, empowering women, ending violence. So, this is a particular theme that you guys will expand on when we come to the next session. And of course, we are having objectives that raise awareness on gender-based violence and sexual gender-based violence. Also, we'll get an understanding on the empowering participants to understand and address mental health. Then also we'll come to an understanding on the third objective, promote body positivity and self-confidence, which results to the my dress, my choice, which you're saying that kiwana to dress pupu unaangalia kando. I'll come to that conversation in the next few minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 1:30 the top of the hour. Don't go too far. It's Sexual Awareness Month with Sumayyah Foundation. Don't go too far. Taarifa zinapochipuka na kutufikia papa hapa kwenye makao makuu ya chumba cha habari cha runinga ya Look Up, kwenye taifa, kwenye serikali, kwenye bunge, tunajitosa hadi kwenye sauti ya wenyeji ili kupata tu maoni ya wenyeji kuhusu masuala haya yanayochipuka.
Maana hii kitu inaenda kuumiza Mkenya kwa tax.
Hakuna kitu tunafurahia. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Sisi tunaumia, si ati tunaumia ile ya kiukweli. Juu maisha ni ngumu.
Na bila shaka tunapata maoni yao ili sauti yao ipate kusikika. Na watasema hili, waseme lile, watasema hiki, na waseme kile, almuradi sauti yao ipate taa.
Mambo ya mafuta tena imekuwa ni changamoto zaidi kwa kila mtu wa bodaboda.
Uchumi ikikuwa stable, tunaamini mambo itakuwa sawa sawa.
Kwanza alikuwa na ria wasa wa boda, mama mboga nini. Hao sasa ndio wamefinywa zaidi manzo.
Mtazamaji, hii ni bunge la wenyeji.
Feeling like unwinding and calming your nerves down after a long week? I'm Nika Kala. Join me on the Nakala Report this coming Friday and every Friday at 8 p.m. only on Look Up TV. At Nakala Report, we turn the insanity into sanity and sanity into insanity.
Welcome back. I'm joined in by Raphael and Sumayyah right here on Look Up Television, The Morning Drift. Thank you so much. The conversation is still underway about Sexual Awareness Month. Right here is a pivotal issue in relations to gender-based violence, which is an alarming case right in the Republic. And as we create awareness to the best way possible, we'll now want to understand that I've been assaulted and what are the best ways to handle those particular situations, either legally or in the societal response, and also how will the society come in handy to assist someone that has been assaulted. But before that, we had quite objectives that the foundation has in regards to raising awareness. So the empowering participants to understand and address mental health issues. I think we should begin from that, right? These people have been assaulted. So what's the balance to create a stable mental status towards those who have been assaulted, either the minors or the adults as well? Tanzania Raf, yes.
The first main point you have to accept is that it's not your fault.
Indeed.
And you cannot blame yourself for it happening.
Indeed.
And you have to be able to, well, once you're raising the mental health aspect, we have to give you the strength to raise, as our theme is to raise, reclaim, and rebuild.
Indeed.
So you have to rise up and say that whatever has happened does not really define you.
Indeed.
It doesn't define your future. So you have to rise up from hata ukiwa chini aje, you have to push yourself up to bounce back from it. Reclaim, just to get that strength to reclaiming your power and energy towards building your future, towards building your better future.
Indeed. So how will small children rise and reclaim and rebuild? The young children that do not know about the view on sex, the view on assault, the view on that unaniguza mahali pabaya. So how will they reclaim this?
So I think for children is a bit of a challenge, because most children, even discovering that a child has been assaulted is quite difficult.
Indeed.
But once they continue growing up, let's say you reach your teenage years, and then you'll discover, oh, what dad did to me was wrong. What mom did to me was wrong. What uncle was wrong. So once you've grown and you've grown, you've been educated towards these matters. So once you're once you're familiar with these things, you can now come and seek the help that you need. Yeah. But when you're really young, let's say you're like 5 years, you're like 4 years, it's really hard for us even to come and find out, because even you knowing what rape is difficult.
Indeed.
Yeah. So once you're able to name what happened to you, you can come and now change it and now rebuild from the experience that you had.
All right.
There's also the sexual assault trauma, which comes from sexual assault, and it affects most victims of sexual assault. And in children, I feel like it's a trauma that they live with. Then when they grow up, they are taught better ways to cope with that trauma.
Indeed. Teaching better ways to overcome
that trauma. That's why the mental health aspect is really important in sexual assault. It's like a community. Sexual assault isn't, you can't eradicate it just by educating. There's also educating, there's legal aid, and there's also the mental health aspect, which has to be together in order for a victim to overcome.
So they want to overcome, but the stigma is on their neck.
Yeah, the stigma, also now part of education means that you learn about eradicating from the stigma and the societal norms that perpetuate these forms of violence.
Unajua baba yako alikurepe. So guess you want to rebuild, you want to have a different view, change, you come through. But when you hear people speaking about this, tena inakurudisha back to the drawing line. So how will you rise up again?
It's our hope that
you just make small progressive steps. It's not something that's easy, or you can just wake up one day and it's over. It's something that you have to live with, but you can learn how to cope and live with it.
Indeed.
Yes.
All right. You wanted to say something. We just proceeded promote body positivity and self-confidence. You've said about eradication and overcoming this, but body shaming is still on the rise.
Yes.
So I think Raf, you should tackle that on promoting body positivity, that this is my body and no one should joke about it, and when they say about this, how should I maintain, how should I overcome this? See mimi nilijiumba.
So I think one very important aspect to have is, once you're building this awareness, first you have to help the society to stop that negative body shaming.
Indeed.
And if you're a victim of body shaming, you have to build that mental strength to tune out the noise and to focus on accepting yourself, because there's not much you can do about your body. That if let's say you have there's something you hate about your body, there's so much you can do about it, but the best thing you can do is to accept it.
Of course.
To accept it and to not let it define you, as we've said before.
You've accepted it, and the society wants also to accept this, but the people that are living within you, wale watu wa karibu sana, they're still the biggest challenge in this. Hao ndo wa kwanza kusema kwamba na huyu anakaa namna gani.
So that's what I'm saying, you have to be able to tune out that noise. Mtu wakuja kuambia you have big ears.
Is it easy?
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
Because you have to build a high sense of self. You have to really accept yourself, and as Raf said, don't allow the noise to come in your head. You have to be very strong. Yes.
It's really hard, but you have to.
I think inahitaji kikao tena.
It's really hard
to really understand this, because kila mali ukitembea you'll realize that people are saying about how you look, unakaaje, in the aspects of sexual assault, pia body shaming inakam in handy.
Yes, it does, because you know, the people, the perpetrators, they look for vulnerabilities inside you.
Indeed.
Once they note that you have a low self-esteem, they're able to manipulate you. Because I think we haven't mentioned this, but in consent, there's also the caution, where someone causes you to have sex. You know, they don't directly force you, but they entice you.
Indeed.
They tell you that, oh, you know, now since you have, okay, they don't directly say you have low self-esteem, but they know you have low self-esteem. This is manipulation tactics to find their way to your body.
All right, when you mentioned manipulation, I realized there's dark psychology manipulation tactics.
Yes.
You know about that? All right, hiyo pia inachangia sana. What about enticing young kids towards this? That unajua kwamba wamekuaminia, the family knows you, my dad knows you, so wanajua huwezi fanya anything wrong.
You know, enticement in sexual assault comes in many forms. There's also the one that happens in workplaces, and also in among children, and even between relationship. There's intimate partner sexual violence. That one happens between relationships. And now a partner might say to you that, you know, I am your boyfriend, please let's do this. Or in children, they might give children money or even sweets or anything to entice. And in workplace, they might even threaten, if you don't have this, we won't give you a promotion. If you don't do this, this won't happen.
And also another factor, in areas that are faced with high rates of poverty, people use the poverty to as a way of enticing you. Like because let's say, because one of the things they also do is to provide sanitary towels to teenage girls. So you'll find areas that are dealt with high rates of poverty, people are using the lack of sanitary towels as a way of raping you. Like they entice you, like, oh, si unataka pesa ya sijui nini?
Come have sex with me, then I give you pads.
So you'll find a teenage girl, she wants to go to school, she cannot go to school because she's experiencing her periods and she doesn't have sanitary towels. So someone has taken advantage of that situation and asked them to have sex, even though she cannot consent, so that she can go get money for the sanitary towels.
Even as you prepare yourselves for the testimonies and the lives you've impacted so far as your foundation is concerned, there's someone that maybe has this particular trauma and wants to become a better person in the society through one of the objectives that you've mentioned on leadership and advocacy. So how will we impact these particular people to really embrace this, that despite the fact that I want this, that there's still something that is backing me off? What are the best elements to consider when now we want to shape them to become to rise up and maybe become leaders or any other aspects, and also they can be used as elements of advocacy?
Well, the first one I would say is confidence, because once you're truly confident in yourself, you can rise above anything. Confidence is truly important, and even in our outreach programs, we really advise them and we really encourage them to be confident in whatever they do.
Indeed.
Yes.
Yeah, confidence. It's a video to tupatie places.
And also, it's important to realize when something has happened to you, you are not alone in that. There are many people who can help you. There are people who have experienced what you've experienced, and there are people who can give you a guiding hand. They can hold your hand and they can help you towards rebuilding your life from whatever has happened.
Indeed.
So you have to remember that you are not alone. You can reach out to either us or reach out to any organization that deals with this. There are people who also, there are people who deal with mental health. You can reach out to them. Just remember that you are not alone. Even as you're building towards your confidence, don't think that you are alone and you have to overcome this by yourself. There are many people who can help you.
Many people that can help. Promote healthy relationship and safe sexuality.
Yes.
What about that?
That's on the point I was explaining about the intimate partner sexual violence.
Indeed.
That's within relationships. Now, the domestic violence is within married couples, but within intimate partners, there's also sexual violence. And it's important for your partner to understand that if you're not willing to have sex, or if you don't want to have sex, it's not something that they can force on you, because now that would be sexual assault.
But wanaogopa that you don't want today, but on the other hand, you're doing it with another person.
Yeah, and that's why we also teach the girls that, you know, it's okay if you don't want. You know, you don't have to do it, and you don't have to be with that partner.
How will you teach the men as well?
That's the
Even
big-
the men. And the men as well.
I think there's also expectation that men really love sex, and men, there's that expectation that a man cannot say no. But if I go to Raph and tell Raph I want to have sex, Raph can never say no. But you have to create that environment where men, if you don't want to do it, just say you don't want to do it. There's no that pressure where oh, I'll be laughed at or what.
But Raph, I think the society is rotten.
Yeah.
Design, your couple doesn't want this, but when you go to work, she finds another person to at least satisfy that mood.
Yeah, well, partners should also be understanding as well, and respect, because respect
So
is
you
paramount.
understand that you've never slept with your couple for quite a long time.
Yeah, you need to understand.
Hey, all right.
Well, it's not something difficult to understand. Yeah, you can understand.
You can understand that kutu inanimaliza for the past 3 months.
But I think you can.
You can talk, you can have
talk
a
about it,
conversation
yeah.
about it, and you tell your partner, listen, these are my needs in this relationship, and if you cannot meet my need, or if you cannot meet halfway, then I can go look for another partner. Yeah.
So sisi tuko tu kama husband and wife, but on the other side we...
No, we now break up, and now I go on to another relationship.
I feel like it's important to have that communication. You say, let's say what you've said, that umekuwa na kutu for 3 months. You come and tell someone, this is affecting me. I want us to be intimate with each other, and I don't get that from the relationship. And then it's up to you guys to try and find a middle ground towards it. And if you can't, it's up to you now to decide what to do.
If you want to be in that
if you want to be together.
You know, and things like this is what actually increases the rates of sexual violence within relationships. Because you feel like, this is my partner, this is my right. But no, you need to have a conversation about it and agree. And if you cannot agree, then you can just let that person go.
I also think that what you're saying about the communication thing, she or he has denied it for quite some time, and because now you want another option, si amekata, then I get the person with another person. So what must I do? See, I'll just kill the couple.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what happens.
So you can't blame them at the end of the tunnel.
No. It's what happens, but it's not right.
It's not right when you see your person with another person, then you've never had this encounter before.
Yeah, you either talk to them about it, or you just let them be.
Yeah, I'd really love to see that communication as you talk to them. Strengthen community partnership for sustainable change. We've embraced this, then which now directs to the other conversation we are having. This is my man. I found this man with another lady, and we've not had an encounter for quite some time. Amekuwa akiniambia sijisikii leo. Then I find them, you know, having an encounter.
Yeah.
So how will I approach? And we're speaking about sustainable change.
Yeah, and that's not a ground to now kill someone, honestly, or it really is not. You can just, if that person isn't with you and is with that person, then that clearly means you want to be with that person. So you can just now remove yourself from that situation and choose better for yourself. Someone who wants to be with you. Yeah.
Someone wants to be with you, then be with you.
Yeah.
Okay. No, so in the, even as we delve to that, there's also the aspect of education. That means you guys, of course, go to schools and educate people, the students in regards to sexual health, which also drive the question that we were having earlier, that now these people want to change. But that's not because umenikazia for quite some time. I'll just have to masturbate or watch pornography. Those are the
or find another relationship.
So those are the two options, the best two options.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I
Someone else.
don't think, if let's say, as you've said, you found your partner being intimate with someone else, I don't think it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
I think we have to move from this scarcity mindset where you believe there's just that one person for you. If she doesn't want to be with you and she's not treating you right, or he's not treating you right, I don't think it's safe for you to even be there mentally.
Okay.
So I think it's just better to find
someone
who wants you, someone who will treat you the way you want to be treated.
All right.
And also meet your needs.
Yeah.
Okay. 10 years amekosa kumeet your needs anyway. Now, on the view of education, that means you guys go to schools and impact lives, the young girls and the young boys out there. How's that been so far? You impacting them? Do they understand these things and the danger that it has?
Yes, actually the outreach programs in secondary schools, because that's our target audience, they're usually very impactful because we visit a school and we're able to engage with the students firsthand. And we also tell them to send us anonymous messages where we read them and we're able to respond to them. And we tell them that if they also want to meet us more often, or if they need a more personal conversation, they can talk to us. And the conversations that come up are usually very, very meaningful, and we are able to really help them when we visit schools.
All right. Yes. I think you also talked to us about now the testimonials and the impact that it has brought. Since of course you've impacted the students, you've impacted the society, the girls out there, then have you received testimonials as well?
Yeah, when she was saying about the anonymous questions, anonymous suggestions, one thing I just want to add before I answer that. The teenagers, the people in high school right now, there's something we're not used to it, but these people are really informed.
Indeed.
Because of the age we are in, the technology age we are in. This child is in Form 1, but what he or she knows surprises you sometimes. Yeah, so you get a lot of questions surrounding sex, surrounding porn and masturbation, relationships. And even in the first segment you asked when an older woman is with a younger,
with a minor.
We've experienced boys coming to us and telling us, is this right? Because they don't know that. So they come and ask you, hey, baby, there's this lady, she's very beautiful, but she's like 30-something, 20-something. Is it okay that I'm doing this? How do I get out? So there are people who are these teenagers, they're having these experiences, but they have no one to talk to. And I think that's the major thing we've accomplished as a foundation. Is that
we've created that space
that we have. We're like the big brother, the big sister, where they can feel comfortable coming and telling you, hey, baby, you know, this and this happened to me, what should I do? Yeah, because some of us, especially our African background, most of us are not really comfortable having these conversations with your parents. So you need like that safe environment where you can discuss these things with someone who's a bit more experienced and can help you towards it.
What's the testimony that moved you a lot and you felt like, hey, indeed the foundation is really working out?
Well, there's one child we were able to assist. We met the child in Machakos. So this child came to us with a problem of having both genders. And I remember she was telling me, like, Sumayyah, I don't know if I'm a boy or I'm a girl, because I have beards, but my boobs are also growing. My hips are growing, but my voice is breaking. Like, how are you able to assist me? And it was a very sad situation for that story, for that kid, because yeah, it was really sad. But we were able to help him because we also have mental health experts who are able to now talk to him. And he also said that he was also assaulted by the neighbor, because now, you know, people are looking at him and wondering, is this one a man, is this one a guy? But it's really not that person's fault, because, you know, it's not your fault if you're born with two genders.
Of course.
So we were able to help him, and next time if you come, I'll be able to bring him and he can also share his story. But now he's in a very good space, he's better, he got the help he needed.
Indeed. Yeah. All right, so how will we approach legal aid, and how do we seek help to that regards?
So in terms of legal aid, we have legal experts who are able to work with us, and if you're able to contact us, we can be able to help you without pay. Yeah, it's free. Yeah, it's free because the lawyers are able to work pro bono for us. So any case we get, we connect with them and they're able to assist. Yes.
Any case you mean?
Any sexual assault case. Yeah.
All right. So the society is empowered and knows about this, knows about the legal aid, knows about the sustainable change, and they want to reclaim and rebuild. So what are the biggest ways they can approach any situation? Hata kama si ati may happen, but ukiangalia if it's about to happen, how will they tackle that in the near future to bring sustainable change?
Excuse me.
Well, as you sips on that,
okay.
We also have things like where we teach the kids on bystander interventions, where if you're able to witness an assault, there are some steps you're able to take, and you're able to help that, or you're able to prevent, such as maybe if you see an assault happening, maybe you can scream for help, or you can shout at that person. You can be able to assist the victim. Yeah. So that's one of the ways.
And as you took a sip, as you mentioned about that and the excitement in it, so we'll embrace now Girly Camp, and of course, how can people now support into this particular? Is it third edition that you're now majoring in? And so people to come in handy and support towards that particular organization and everything to work out in the best way possible.
Yeah. So the third edition is on 26th of April, and we are inviting any. As of now, we have a budget that we have not yet offset. So we want to buy pads for the girls. We want to, when we're bringing the mentors, we want to bring as much as we can to impact this girl's life. So as of now, we're really looking for the funds towards that. But we also want people to come for the event, not just the girls in Mathare, but even you. I hope you'll come.
I believe so.
Yeah, so we want people to come, because let's say they can come and see your career, and you can tell them, because we also want to impact them economically. So even when we go to school, we talk about our careers and everything. So we want everyone to come, as many as you can, so that you can have a positive impact to all these people. So they can either assist financially, or they can come to the event and be of help in whichever way they can.
And to add on to that, there's also voluntary work in areas of mental health, and he's mentioned the economic empowerment part. So we're also looking for vocational trainers who can be able to come in and assist the girls with even just maybe one way in which they can be able to get money, maybe such as sewing or braiding or just doing anything. So we're also in search for vocational trainers, and also mental health experts who are able to come in, and also legal experts who will be able to come in.
Indeed.
For voluntary work.
What's the future of Girly Camp?
The future of Girly Camp is to reach as many areas globally as we can, so we can be able to really discuss matters of sexual assault and help as many girls as we can, and also impact them positively.
By the end of April, will we have made the impact as well? Because we mentioned that it's not necessarily April, but every time we're discussing about this. Even as Girly Camp and the entire foundation, do you think we'll be able to eliminate sexual assault cases right in the Republic?
I think it's a process that will have to take time, but we have to be intentional towards it. As a country, as a community, as individuals, we have to be intentional, not just now that it's Sexual Awareness Month that we are having these conversations. We want to have these conversations every single day, so that the more we have them, the more we'll eradicate these cases. And there's an interesting thing I was reading a while ago. It was saying every $1 you spend towards prevention, you save $5 towards actually dealing with the problem. So let's say you've spent $1 towards creating awareness, doing all that prevention strategies, we'll have saved so much money towards the legal aid, the medical, the mental. So we'll have saved $5 more towards that.
All right, so how can we get in touch with you when we want maybe niko kwa hiyo kesi ama I want support and any other thing? How can I reach out?
So you can contact us through our various social media handles at Sumayyah Foundation on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's Sumayyah Foundation. And also our number, I can read it out.
All right.
0716 630 141. So that's our official number. You can get us through there, or Sumayyah Foundation through various social media platforms.
Indeed. Thank you so much for your time. It's an honor. Kuna mali sikuelewa kidogo about tuendelee tu kunyonga because hatutaki kuingia kwa assault. Acha tu amekataa, acha tu nikubali. All right, I think that conversation itakam tena because pia wase wengi wana you know.
But also with regards to masturbation, too much of something is harmful.
That's actually one of our biggest question in high school.
Indeed.
Especially high school boys, they really struggle with masturbation.
Kabisa.
Boys high school,
And also that's why pia tuko na single mothers and single fathers, right? All right, so thank you so much, Ralph. Thank you so much, Ma, for your time and your impact to the society. I believe in the near future we'll be having a greater encounter to the best way possible. Indeed. So, ladies and gentlemen, of course, to decolonize the social norms and system geared towards gender-based violence and sexual-based violence against vulnerable boys, adolescent girls, and young women. Now, gender-based violence and sexual-based violence is a serious issue that affects individuals from all walks of life, regardless of age, gender, race, or socioeconomic rights. Now, at the heart of our vision and mission, our foundation seeks to uphold the Bill of Rights enshrined under the Kenyan Constitution with an aim of educating and empowering adolescent girls and young women. Till the end of time, we'll get 100% impact towards eliminating these perpetrators right at the heart of the society. Without much ado, we've mentioned a little bit about sexual assault, but the conversation still continues to make sure that this is becoming an impactful conversation right to the heart of these perpetrators and to the heart of those that are decolonized one way or the other. But mind you, you're still part of this awareness. Remember, you can also share your voice right on Facebook and YouTube. Use the hashtag end sexual assault, is the hashtag The Morning Drift, and of course make sure you follow Sumayyah Foundation to the best way possible. My name is Master Sakech. My director has been King Dante Max. See you next time, and thank you so much, Jere, for your lovely comfort right here for this conversation. Asanteni sana.